Been around for 32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
All About Bugs Tennessee Pest and Termite Control is all about family too. Our family-owned business has successfully been in operation in Sevierville and surrounding areas for almost a decade. Especially during these times, a pest-free home is necessary for a sustainable, disease-free home or business. Our services include residential, rental, commercial, hotel, motel, cabins, you name it. Free quotes and inspections for new customers, and most of our services are contract-free. Our All About Bugs Tennessee family is devoted to delivering the best possible pest control service with a friendly smile. Contact us at 865-453-5574 today.
If it's bugging you, you should be bugging us.
It's a 1.5-mile racetrack in the Midwest that has been seen to change dramatically. With the last update here on the service, Multi-Groove Racing will be in command as the Next Gen Series for Racing Revolution and the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series comes to race number 11 of their season. Live from the virtual Kansas Speedway. Welcome in, everybody. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper. So the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series has not been covered by yours truly just yet. But I know with last week, Rob Roeder added his name to another multi-win season. And we've got a few other drivers that are in this points and in this playoff picture that are adding their name to the win column. It's been a good one thus far. And with the drop week, the points are all over the place. But let's take a look at Kansas Speedway. 17-degree banking in the corners. 10 degrees on the front stretch. This 4-corner tri-oval opened June 1st, 2001, and it has not disappointed. Modeled very similar to Chicagoland and Kentucky Speedway, this place has put on pretty much a mecca of different races that you could cut, kind of like Las Vegas. When that track opened back in 1996 actually, they were cutting the tri-ovals at a lot of these tracks. Kansas, well, it's no different, and a lot of these cars will be cutting down off of that apron to try to get 1/100 of a second here or there. Race analysis up on your screen, 134 laps here today. That pit road speed limit, of course, 45 miles per hour. 5 tire sets available, and we'll have 3 green-white checkered attempts. Stage lap at lap 40. Of course, this series running on the iRacing fixed setup, and they're down there warming up right now as we speak. The schedule is coming up on your screen now. Darlington Speedway next week after this event, but here after Dover, the Monster Mile. It was a hard-fought battle, a very long race, and a difficult race. Some guys struggled with that place, but Forget Berube able to get second position after Rob Rader wins, and I believe third position, if I remember correctly, went to Tay McDonald. So another driver that's worked his way up. Grant Thorpe in fourth. James Loveland would round out your top 5. It's been an eventful season, and a lot of these guys that are up in this top 5 from last week are also top 5 in the speed here tonight. So I'm interested to see if some of that confidence is carried over after the race from last Wednesday. So let's take you down trackside for a little bit. Maybe we'll get a few of these drivers. There's James Loveland out on the racetrack right now as we speak. Getting some warm-up laps in. We have about 2 minutes left to go here, just before we get set to grid. And I think this is a perfect opportunity to maybe bring up, as we have our Land and Sea NSB 200 here today at Kansas. Let's see if we can find a driver down there. Most of these guys have stepped away from their cameras. And I was just about to talk to Trevor Keith, and he decided to stand up. And quick bathroom break for a lot of these guys. It's a long race, of course. 134 laps at Kansas does take a while. Let's bring up a guy that really needs no introduction here in this series. Let's bring in Jeremy Burns. Jeremy, sorry to interrupt you there for quickly. Jeremy, how is it out there tonight, and what's your plan?
Oh, we're feeling pretty good. Starting P2, so we're going to have some clean air, hopefully, but just trying to keep it up here. Stage lap 40, so getting it ready to keep it up there for those 40 laps to get stage points, because they're just so crucial, man. But then after that, just racing our hearts out and see what we can accomplish and hopefully go home with the trophy.
Yeah, I know that this track can be a little challenging, and especially in this next-gen car, it seems like the groove kind of works up the racetrack for a little while, and then it flip-flops. The bottom becomes fast towards the end of the race. So what's the strategy with the line? Are you going to try to play with both sides of the track early, or are you committed to one part of the racetrack all race long?
I mean, who doesn't like to rip the fence, right? But if need be, I'll take it to the bottom to conserve a little bit of tires and, you know, slow the field down a little bit. But if we can just keep the track position for the first 40 and get stage points, we can play with it all that we want and hope that things fall our way.
Well, good luck out there tonight as we get set up to grid. The number 9. I was hunting for the 97. I've never covered this series before, so the number 9 out here tonight for Racing Revolution, the Chapman Environmental Services number 9 with Jeremy Burns. Good luck, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So that brings us to our grid. Let's take it down and bring up that pole sitter. Starting on the pole tonight with a 30.521, it's going to be Tay McDonald in the number 29. He will start just on the inside of the guy we just talked to, Jeremy Burns, in second position. Starting on row number 2 is Michael Call. Matt Robinson will begin in fourth. Fifth spot goes to Tyler Harrison with Justice Murphy in the number 12 and 6th. James Loveland and Alex Forget Berube in the 8th spot. And row number 5 belongs to Travis Gilbert and Kevin Orlando Jr. in the 10th place. 11th position goes to Parker Johnson with Kyle Diaz in the number 26 and 12th. 13th position, Caleb Gilbert with Christian Brinstock. Resnock, sorry about that. He's going to start in 14th. 15th position, Christopher Schaefer. Trevor Erhardt in 16th. 17th, Chris Nail. Michael Bennett will be in 18th. And that top 20 goes to Trevor Keith and Daniel Holloway. Porter Lenz is going to begin in 21st position with Chad Lancaster in 22nd. 23rd, Grant Thorpe with Devin Hudgens in 24th. Jackson McGeorge in 25th. Al Lincolns in 26th. 27th, Robert Rader and John Fike in 28th. 29th, Daryl Johnson, Joe Gioia. I'm going to butcher that one for a minute. Sorry about that. Nicholas Shell in 31st. Dylan Simmer in 32nd position. Wayne Lowe in 33rd. Brandon Richardson in 34th. Jacob Sirkovich in 35th. Frank Hughes Jr. And this massive 40-car field. Presley, King, Turner, and Israel Jr. Let's go trackside now. Green flag is out. The Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series is live at Kansas. Lead lap number 1, Tate McDonald keeps it up front. The top 3 have not changed hands. Michael Call and Jeremy Burns going up to rip the fence. We'll have to wait and see if that pays off. I've seen some racing here recently where it works in the short run, but it seemed like overall the bottom was where you wanted to be later in this race. These guys might find some speed up here, but 3 wide back here outside the top 10. That's Justice Murphy on the outside of it. He's going to pick up 2 spots, but he's down 4 from where he began this race. Maybe a little bit conservative or a bad start to this. Parker Johnson on the bottom in the 48 is going to get by for the top 10. And already caution comes out. Looks like the 42 involved in this, 43 rather. A couple other cars. 34 machines still trying to gather it back up. That's Wayne Lowe. Looks like some front end damage on that machine. Started in 33rd, he's now back to 39th. Looks like a single car spin here on the backstretch. I don't know if he had any help, so we'll have to back this up a little bit more. Take it on a higher angle camera to see. Looks like a little squeeze, a checkup. The 7 gets into the back of him, so there was a little bit of help. And that was Peyton Presley that got into the back of that machine. Right on board with. Yeah, it's just a checkup, a little wiggle there from the squeeze. And the 7 has really nowhere to go. No time to react to that. And that'll bring out our first caution of the day. So Tay McDonald electing not to pit. This entire field stays out here. A few cars do bring it down pit road, maybe to top off with fuel. We are going to play the strategy game. Of course, we brought up that race analysis and talked about the stage break that will happen. So that is a situation that these guys might be planning to be on the other side of that stage break. Come down, get 4 tires, maybe stay out. Have to wait and see, as it's Justice Murphy in the 12 that hits his stall. He's down and away now. Just 5.3 in the box, so it looks like just topping off with fuel for a lot of these guys. And then a couple drivers that are going to have to repair some damage. There's Peyton Presley and a few others. 34 Wayne Lowe, of course, heavy damage on the front end of that machine. He'll probably have, at minimum, a minute of repair for the way that nose hit the wall. But one of those opportunities here to talk a little bit about how drivers are faring in this top 5. It hasn't changed at all. Everyone ripping the top with the exception of Tay McDonald. But from James Loveland gaining a couple spots, Travis Gilbert is up now to 7th position. He's gained 2 positions. A few of these guys on the move early. Chris Nail up 7 spots. He started back in 17th position. He's up to 10th. So a good start here for the 88. A few drivers that have had tough starts to this race. Justice Murphy all the way back to 25th position after he started in the top 10 in 6th spot. So the All About Bugs machine has a lot of work to get back up there to the front where he began. Heavy traffic and probably going to see some 3 wide in front of him, but he did come in to top off with fuel, so this could accordion back. He could rebound from this easily. However, for every caution that we have, that's going to guarantee that these drivers will get ever so closer to that stage break. The lights will go out on the pace car this time by.
Hey, it's Ryan.
Hey. Trying to get some audio fixed here, and Ryan Reynolds decided to pop through. Let's say hello to everybody out there in the chat right now. That's where my line is anyway. Welcome in, good to see you. Gary Hudgens, Woodrow 64. Welcome into the chat. And we'll get set to go back green and racing here on lap number 8. Love to see a green flag run here at Kansas if these guys can get it underway. This race has been a fuel battle, fuel mileage battle. Every event that I've watched, guys playing different strategies, trying to shorten this place by 1 pit stop and make it all the way. The guys that have been successful in doing so usually prove to win. However, if you can save enough tires and be faster overall, they're usually pretty close. So, you know, cautions, breeding cautions here at Kansas, notorious for that as well. Dave McDonald, Jeremy Burns, front row. Let's go back green for the 2nd time today. It's back out, and here we go. Back live at Kansas. Already with a good jump there. Tay McDonald elected to start on the outside this restart. Of course, that choose cone that you have to pay close attention to here. All the drivers throughout this field can choose the inside and outside. As per track stewards, it will sort that all out side by side for the lead. Jeremy Burns down to the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to try to take it away. Doesn't get the run off of the exit of 4. 3 wide deep in the field here. This is back for about the 11th, 10th position. In the middle is the 0-2 of James Loveland trying to hold it down there. In and out, 3 wide down the backstretch. A little wiggle there. He checks out of it. And a car off the racetrack, that's the 14. Michael Bennett loses it down the backstretch and loses a ton of ground. All the way back to 36th position now. Back up here with Loveland, it has not subsided. The storm brewing up just outside the top 10 behind him as well. These guys fighting heavy for position. To the inside, Matt Robinson passing for 3rd. Tyler Harrison on the high line into 3. Burns must have made a mistake. He falls back to 5th, and a few cars get on by the 22 of Travis Gilbert now, up 7 positions in the 22 machine. Gilbert is on the move here, running that fence up on the high line through 1 and 2, catching up to Tay McDonald. Big run out of 2, and he will bump stop and a little bump draft there. Just to let the 29 know he's on the way. Two cars having some problems back there in the exit of turn 4. Looks like Wayne Lowe is around again. And the 34, who just got some of that repair done, is going to have to come back down pit road. Caution's back out here on lap 12. So already some problems here. Looked like he hit the wall and comes down off of the wall in a complete 90-degree angle there. I'm not sure if the front suspension was broken here, so let's get it on board with this machine. It was actually blinking and some contact to the back of this car, so that causes the initial spin, but this car did not want to turn. It was low speed, pulled it down the banking and right across the nose. Let's see if we can go back and figure out who got into the back of this machine. Looks like the 00 of Christian Brinsnock onto the back end. And the high noon. Losing my mind. I don't know why I said high moon. High noon, 00, guilty of causing that. I know there was a little blink out there by the 34. I think that's one of those instances where you just got to let off the throttle and pray that he comes back and he's not inside your car. So far, it's the Tay McDonald show. Travis Gilbert went up there and challenged him a little bit, but it seems that the line is playing a little bit of defense here for the 29 car. He's been able to hold on to the lead thus far, leading all 12 laps that we have completed here today. We're going to take a quick commercial break here live on V-Speed. You're watching the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series live on V-Speed. More coverage is going to continue right after this.
Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. You know, it's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
All About Bugs Tennessee Pest and Termite Control is all about family too. Our family-owned business has successfully been in operation in Sevierville and surrounding areas for almost a decade. Especially during these times, a pest-free home is necessary for a sustainable, disease-free home or business. Our services include residential, rental, commercial, hotel, motel, cabins, you name it. Free quotes and inspections for new customers, and most of our services are contract-free. Our All About Bugs Tennessee family is devoted to delivering the best possible pest control service with a friendly smile. Contact us at 865-453-5574 today.
If it's bugging you, you should be bugging us.
Back live from the Kansas Speedway, the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series, live on V-Speed for the Land and Sea NSB 200. And McDonald has led every single lap thus far, but we're going back green on lap 16. Here we go. Green flag is out, and a good launch here with Tyler Harrison into one. Harrison gets a decent start here, riding on board with the number 45 up to the second position. He's up 3 spots. He's going to get a good run here going into 3. Up there ripping the fence. Looks like he might take over the lead here on lap 17. 29 is going to wash up the racetrack. And a dive. Nope, doesn't take it here. He thought about it, but he is going to have the momentum going into turn 1. Up on the high side, the 45 trying to take it away. He is going to take point. Harrison to the lead. Dive back to the inside. Quite a few of these guys taking 3 and 4 on the low line, but it's not quite as fast. Harrison will get his first lap led of the day. Put him up 4 spots. This time by. Another driver that's big on the move here, Rob Rader in the 6th spot. He began this race back in 27th. He's all the way up to 6th, flirting with the top 5 here on the high line. Just behind, that's Al Lincoln's in the Dollar Tree 43, or number 40 rather. I think those of you at home could understand why I might have called that a 43 car. However, the top 4 starting to pull away a little bit here, and Harrison has his work cut out for him. These guys are trying different lines to see if they can find a weak spot. And what that Mr. Detail 45 pulls out of 3 and 4 with that clean air, that's another factor here. When everyone rips the fence, they get that dirty air on the nose. They don't have quite as much downforce. Overall, it's a little bit more difficult to keep it off that wall. You have to lift. You have to get on the gas a little later. Working to the advantage of the 45. He can stay up here for quite some time as long as he doesn't make a mistake into the outside wall. Still fanning out. There's Jeremy Burns. Unfortunately, he's fallen back to the 12th position. He will go 3 wide into turn 1 with the 21 on the outside. That's Daniel Holloway. And the 12 of Justice Murphy. Remember who came in and topped off on pit road. He was as far as back as 27th spot. He will now be up to 11th, just outside this top 10. So it'll be all about Bugs. Number 12 has the speed to pass quite a few cars in a short amount of time. However, that is going to wear out the tires a lot quicker. We'll have to be careful on this long run before we hit stage end. Car into the wall just ahead of him there. That looked like Matt Robinson who tagged it just briefly there. Maybe it might have been a little bit further ahead of that. I'm not entirely sure. There was definitely a car up in the wall. Could have been the 53 there. Very similar looking car from the back end. All the way up there to the outside again as Robinson tries to get a pass, and there's contact going into turn 1 with John Fike. Like a little bit surprised that I think the 1 went up there. And now there's more contact off the exit of 2. They touch fenders again. Here comes the 6th car. Jeffrey Israel Jr. up 32 positions. Now into the 8th spot. He's trying to work on the outside of Jeremy Burns, who started up front here. Just outside the pole position for the 9. Not sure if he's in conservation mode here, but he hasn't really rebounded since he fell out of the top 5. 3 3 wide just behind him. This is for the top 20. 27 of Kevin Orlando Jr., Trevor Erhardt, Trevor Keith. Still 3 wide in front of him. All the multi-groove racing in Kansas makes it good. What a show here that the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series is putting on right now. These guys cannot decide if they want to stay 3 wide. The 41's going to peak down there. Trevor Erhardt looking for a way around. He gets up to 20th now. He is fighting on that bottom line. You can see it doesn't get quite as good of a run. Exit speed kind of terrible there on that bottom side, but you can get a good drive in. You're going to probably see a slide job here. Nope. He's going to move up a spot, but man, they're still crazy back here for 20th on back. Let's look off the back of Chris Nail, who's in 16th right now. Nail's going to get by Nicholas Shell, and the 58's going to get stuck back there in the middle. He's fallen like a rock here. Lost 2, now 3 spots for the 58. Still stuck 3 wide as they come through the tri-oval. 58 car, it was up 11 positions. He's still up a little bit here, but he is losing some of that ground that he had gained. And some contact there with the 15. They're going to stay 3 wide off of 2. He's got him inside and outside all the way back through this field, trying to hold it together. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to be? Nicholas Shell's finally able to get out of a 3 wide situation, but the cars passing him is still happening on the outside. The 10's going to get around. The 18, the 23, he just continues to fall through here. Racing going on for 15th now. Chris Nail has the 41 of Trevor Erhardt to the inside. 21 of Daniel Holloway just in front of him. The 12, who was flirting with the top 10, he's starting to fall off now. And these cars 3 wide behind him. Good pass there by the 41. Erhardt clears the 21 machine with ease. Probably the best I've seen anybody drive this lower line for Trevor Erhardt. This car's bad fast here. Harrison continuing to lead, but the battle for the lead is heating up to the inside. Tate McDonald wants it back. And they're going 2 by 2 behind him as well. McDonald all the way down to the bottom. Good pull a slider here. Out of the exit of 2. Looks like Harrison going to hold on to it for 1 more lap. And that's the defense that you play in this next-gen car. 53 is going to go up there. Robert Rader, he's going to close the gap and shut the door for the 29 to slide back up in line. So he'll lose 2 positions just trying to pass for the lead. Falls back to 3rd. Harrison holds on for another one. Back on board, watching the camera work. Watch the mirror here with the 53 of Rader down to the inside. Oh, he's going to slide up and touch Harrison. They make contact there. Harrison probably not too happy about that. Back on the instant replay. This is coming out of turn 4. We'll back it up just 1 more time here. Rader all the way down on the bottom of the racetrack, but that speed scrubs off. You have to use a lot more exit and right up into the door of the 45. Now Rader is falling out of this top 2 position. No more challenge for the lead here. He's on the high line as the 1 of Matt Robinson trying to get by. The slide job here from Robinson. Now going to get an immediate bump draft. Now chasing down Harrison. Let's see if anybody else can get up here and challenge the 45. He's put out a pretty decent gap of about 2/10 over the rest of this field. Jeremy Burns is back on the move. There's the guy that we were wondering, where did he go? Here he is, back up to the 3rd spot. Oh, Harrison, we have a yellow. Big wreck here coming into 3. That's the 84 of Devin Hudgens. And he's got heavy left front damage. That car not going to be able to get back to pit road. Back this up on the instant replay here. Try to figure out what happened. This is sitting somewhere around the 16th through 20th. There's the 12 who had worked his way back up to almost the top 10. And contact between him and the 84. There goes the 84 round. Back up the racetrack and hard impact. Not sure who that was. I think it was the 61 machine. That's Frank Hughes, and the 61 just nowhere to go. Let's go on board, take a listen. That's unfortunately going to do it for the 61. The 84 out of this race as well. That brings everybody down pit road, and the first one out of their pit stall. Well, a few cars staying out, but the first one out of their pit stall will be Tyler Harrison. He came down and got 4 tires. Grant Turner tops off with fuel, so he's back out on the racetrack. This top 2 going to have their work cut out for him because Harrison, Robinson, Burns all on fresh tires. Just approaching that stage caution. That'll bring out our 3rd yellow of the day. 3 lead changes, 37 laps about to be completed. You're watching the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series presented by Racing Revolution on the Land and Sea NSB 200. We're going to take a quick commercial break here as some of these drivers decided to come down pit road anyway. So that'll do it here for for Rader, McDonald, Turner. They're all going to come in. They know that they're sitting ducks here. I think that's a wise decision. Unfortunately, they were on the opposite side of this strategy and will end up deep in this field. But again, a quick commercial break here while we wait for these guys to get it all sorted. We'll be back with you right after this.
So Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. You know, it's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact local.
Back here live from Kansas Speedway, the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series race number 11 from Kansas. Welcome in, everybody. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper. Tyler Harrison took over the lead on about lap 22, I think, if I remember correctly. Nonetheless, he's led 15 laps, so we do have that statistic correct here on V-Speed. Number 1 of Matt Robinson going to be to the inside. Fresh tires for all these guys on the front row and in the front 10. Here we go, back live in racing at Kansas. Alex Forget Berube moves up to the 3rd spot. He's up 5 from where he began now, working on the back of Matt Robinson. Harrison holds on to the lead going into turn 3. The 9 of Jeremy Burns peeks to the middle. Here comes the 29 of Tim McDonald. The guy that led the first 16 laps. Car in the wall back there. I believe that's the 26. It is. Kyle Diaz, hard impact to the outside wall. And that 30 minutes or less, it's going to be out for the rest of this race. Not sure what happened here. There was... It looked like anything crazy through the tri-oval. Here comes 3 wide. A little squeeze there by the 98. I believe there's an additional car that got damaged from that as well. This is just a little pinch down here from the 98. Nowhere to go. That brings out another caution, unfortunately, today. It's been a rough start here, but while we have an opportunity to maybe talk to some of these guys, I'm looking for Tyler Harrison. Not seeing him in the Discord. We will be setting to go back, double back up here just momentarily. Let's bring in Tim McDonald in the 29. You got a copy?
Yeah, how's it going?
I mean, not bad. I know this race has been a little caution plagued here to start it out. You led the first 16 laps. You kind of got shuffled out on the, it seemed like the high line started to come in there. Are you still committed to, maybe running this racetrack a little bit lower as this race progresses?
Oh yeah, for sure. Bottom line is where I want to be. Honestly, I think I could have held the lead and won that stage, but I was so close on fuel that I had to clutch there for about the last 10 laps. So I'm glad I got some stage points. I didn't think it was going to work out very well. So happy for that. Now we're just going to try to work our way back to the front.
Yeah, it's been rather difficult here today to really pick a line that works on all portions of the racetrack. But I agree, Seems like that low line, if we get a long green flag run, that's where you want to be. Good luck out there, man, and we'll see what you got for the rest of this race.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Hey, McDonald, Racing for Freedom team, number 29, getting ready to go back green. So I want to apologize because at some point I missed the stage. That would officially give the 45 the stage win. So there you go. Congratulations, Tyler Harrison. I missed that. I apologize. I do rarely do stage racing here on V-Speed. There is 2 leagues that actually run it. It's Racing Revolution and the Overtake iRacing League. So I still trying to get used to that format of everything and pay attention, especially when we have yellows that bring out cautions instead of cautions for stage end, and so sometimes that stage cut a little bit short. This will give it to the 45. Congrats to him. Choose cone. He's going to go to the outside. Row number 2 going to flip-flop here. Get set to go green back on lap 46. Still plenty of racing left to be done here. Tyler Harrison holds on as of now to the lead. A few drivers that were up here earlier. We're talking about Rob Rader and a few others that are on the wrong side of this strategy. Brought it back down pit road, and I might be wrong on this. I'm not entirely sure, but I want to say that Tyler Harrison did get that stage win. However, I'll have to wait and see. Two by two. Next time today. Let's see if Harrison has anything for him. If he can hold on to it. With Tay McDonald, the other leader for the vast majority of this race. The 2 drivers on the outside, the 1 on the inside. Green flag is out. Here we go back live and racing. For second spot, 3 wide for the lead. Briefly there on the bottom. Matt Robinson going to try to take it away into 3 and 4. He will not. He will slide up and make contact with Harrison. Gets completely sideways there coming out of turn 4. Saves it, but now he's 3 wide back for 5th. That's unfortunate there. And it seems like everybody that's trying to get around this 45 on the bottom has slid up into him. Harrison is just in the command seat right now, preventing these guys from running their line. McDonald going to try it again on the bottom. He's going to stay to his door into 1. And a downshift there on the bottom. Gear change for the 29. Doesn't have enough, though. He's going to slide back up behind the 45, holding on to it again. Here comes Jeremy Burns creeping into the picture. Outside of this top 5, actually just peeking into the top 5, that's the 40. And Lincoln's pretty solid day, 22 spots gained. And we've got parts flying off in the back of the field. Not sure who that was. And sideways for the 39, we're wrecking anyway. Well, we got a lot to unpack here. Going through 1 and 2, we saw some hoods and bumpers and fenders and everything flying off. We come back around for the other side into turn 3. 2 cars involved in that second-hand incident, but I think it all stems back to what this happening through 1 and 2. That was a car actually blinking out there briefly. And then heavy contact there. The 12 machine gets up into the 39. Let's look at that from another perspective here. The 39 had just got around the 12, and because of this blink up in front of him, I believe that was the 21. It slid through the middle there, Daniel Holloway. Then we go back here to the 39 car, and yeah, he's just sent into the corner. Yeah, 12 ran into him. I put that one on the... Unfortunately, I'm going to have to blame that one on Justice Murphy for sending it in there so deep. And that'll dial in another caution here at Kansas. Two cars out of this race. Travis Gilbert, James Loveland, Kyle Diaz, Devin Hudgens, Frank Hughes Jr., Cameron King also has some damage. Grant Turner, of course, down pit road right now getting repairs done. Wayne Lowe has had problems. Jacob Sirkovich. Just a number of guys that have been outside this top 20, and it's been constantly repeating. Justice Murphy down pit road now. I mean, right now, I think I might risk just taking 2 tires just to get around some of these guys because it's been very turbulent deep in this field. We've seen it since the green flag dropped. It's been 3 wide, 4 wide at times. It's a hornet's nest back there, and part of finishing a race and getting points is actually finishing the race. You don't have a car left, you can't do it. So might want to take a gamble there and get some track position on pit road. Unfortunately, nobody up here in this top 10 decided to come down. Tay McDonald does take the lead back, though. Had it by about a nose as that yellow came out. Tyler Harrison going to have to figure out his way back around him. So far at Kansas, the 1.5 mile speedway, it's been a little bit caution plagued here, but we're fast approaching that halfway break. Setting it up for some more action here in the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series. So it's a great opportunity to take a second to review what's going on here on V-Speed. The Overtake iRacing League Cup Series is live as well on this channel, so make sure you go check that out. And make sure you hit the subscribe button here on V-Speed so you never miss a single race. We have all season here for Racing Revolution and the Cup Series presented live on V-Speed every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you're in the Midwest, I know Western Tennessee, Central Kentucky, Southern Illinois right now, make sure you're monitoring the weather situation. I know that it's rather turbulent here this evening. I know it's calming down a little bit, but several tornadoes there in Western Tennessee and Eastern Missouri getting hammered there at about 6 o'clock. So prayers go out to those families and folks. Hope everybody's okay. Thankfully, I'm in Dixie Alley, so I do not get that constant threat of tornadoes. However, this year has kind of started off big. We've seen a lot of severe weather, and I don't know about you, chat, but it seems like it's been one of those, well, we're just gonna send it into spring, and we kind of skipped spring altogether. We've been in the mid 80s here for a few days. Weather transitioning does not like that, so thoughts and prayers to anybody out there in that area right now. 29, Tay McDonald going to lead him into turn 1. Green flag comes back out. Into the restart zone we go. Barney's going to wave it. Here we go. Back live at Kansas. And Harrison going to get grouped and bunched by Burns as they go into turn 1. He's going to pass for second. And a car sideways. That's Chris Nail. No, it happened right in front of Chris Nail. And a big wreck here on lap 45. They're still crashing. The 34's around. Looks like Trevor Erhardt is involved in that in the 41 and the aftermath. A car gets sent sideways there. Pick it back on the V-Speed instant replay. So Wayne Lowe had just got back on the racetrack, but I don't know if he was trying to miss all of this and in the confusion got hit in the rear end. We can look at it from the blimp camera. The wreck's going to start right about now. And he dives to the inside. Looks like maybe just hit that entry. Oh, there's the 98. Just clips him there. He's going to get a piece of it. And one more time here, we're going to look at the 31 machine. He has the 27 there. 27's able to sneak through, but Kevin Orlando gets some damage from that. Of course, the 41. Trevor Erhardt also damaged the 98. Looks like Erhardt going to be done for the day. Heavy damage on that machine. It'll be tough for him to get back out there. But pit stops ensue, and a few drivers that elected to come down. Jackson McGeorge in the 98. Looks like Daniel Holloway also down pit road. Peyton Presley, Brandon Richardson, to name a few. Six cautions, 4 lead changes. Watching the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series live on V-Speed. We're going to take another quick commercial break here as we cycle through this field and get them all grouped back up. And to see NSB 200. We'll continue at Kansas right after this.
Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. You know, it's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
All About Bugs Tennessee Pest and Termite Control is all about family too. Our family-owned business has successfully been in operation in Sevierville and surrounding areas for almost a decade. Especially during these times, a pest-free home is necessary for a sustainable, disease-free home or business. Our services include residential, rental, commercial, hotel, motel, cabins, you name it. Free quotes and inspections for new customers, and most of our services are contract-free. Our All About Bugs Tennessee family is devoted to delivering the best possible pest control service with a friendly smile. Contact us at 865-453-5574 today.
If it's bugging you, you should be bugging us.
Live from Kansas, you didn't miss much. We take the restart here on lap 59, going into turn 1. Tay McDonald. Looks like Al Lincoln's going to bring it up to second. Jeremy Burns caught napping there. Harrison stuck on the outside out of 2. Sticker back up on your screen. A lot of changing for position up here in the top 5 to start this race. Harrison trying to get back to the point, ripping that high line. Go back here and ride on board with the Kansas City Chiefs fan, Trevor Keith. Riding in the 8th spot right now, up 11 positions from where he began the race. Working on the back end of Alex Forget Marube. He's going to look to the inside in 1 and 2 for 7th spot. Dives it back down to the inside, peeking 3 wide there briefly with Matt Robinson. Just trying to get around. Gonna put the door on the 19 there. And they're 3 wide going into turn 1. Down on the bottom for, I believe that's a lap car. The 88 machine. That's Chris Nail. He's not a lap car. I think he just got moved out of the way somehow. Very low line there for the 88. He actually shuts the door on the 15 as they try to get around. Chris Nail has fallen back to 6th now. Harrison into the middle. On the outside of the 1 for 4th. Looks like that high line not working quite as well, and Tay McDonald has worked that bottom better than anybody else. Laps led now as he comes across the line. Lincolns has not been able to find a way around just yet, but it looks like a good run here off the exit of 2 could be the perfect recipe. Yes, it is. Gonna get the change for the lead going into turn 3. Jeremy Burns gonna try to follow suit on this pass. They get a big run out of turn 4 and follow with the 40 of Lincoln's. Of course, Lincoln's getting that lap led this time by first one of the day. Another lead change here in Kansas. Hello, Woodrow. Good to see you up there in the chat. Joining this action here at Kansas Speedway. Chapman Environmental Services and Racing Revolution putting on a heck of a show. Car into the wall there. Chris Nail just bounces off of it. Trevor Keith has worked his way up to 6th. This top 10 starting to flip-flop slowly here. 32 spots gained for this guy right here, Jeffrey Israel Jr. Started back in 40th. Probably feels like he passed 1 million cars here today just to get back up into the top 10, or just to get there. Has since went a little bit dormant, but he is slightly faster than the car in front of him. Have to wait and see if he can get around. for the race on the lead here. Dave McDonald still trying to work that bottom, but the 9 of Jeremy Burns playing around with the different lines. He's been high, he's been low. He's just trying to find the speed to get around and get to the lead. He has not done that yet tonight. And that 29 car, you can hear, is downshifting into 1 and 2. It's actually part of the reason I think he's able to run that low line so successfully. He's going to have to be careful not to bounce that rev limiter too many times and upset the car and pop the engine. So he's going to have to be really careful with that. As you see the door close again for the 9 on his outside. Burns does not want to let Tay McDonald come out high on these exits. Unfortunately, not able to do so and prevent that this time out of 4. But he will get back to the outside coming out into turn 1. But a heavy check up there by Burns, and the 1 of Matt Robinson has to let off the throttle. Back here deeper in the field, side by side. This is from 10th on back. This is for 13th position. Parker Johnson in the middle. '53 of Rob Rader trying to get around. He'll dive it to the bottom of the racetrack now. He'll complete a 2-for-1 special. Just outside of the top 10 now for Rader. There's the lap car down on the apron. Heavy damage earlier in this race. Almost unrecognizable 23. Christopher Schaefer. As the car's starting to brush that wall, you see all that dust and concrete getting mixed up with some paint. Kansas, similar to Darlington, where over time you will get closer and closer to that fence. Very easy to make a mistake. If you're the 40 of Lincoln's right now, though, you have that clean air and the downforce on the nose to help prevent some of that. It's mostly the cars behind him. They're having to change up their line. We've seen several different guys out here in clean air. If they're able to get up front, save their stuff a little bit easier. Burns falls back to 4th. Matt Robinson's able to get around him, but he's going to give him a little bump draft here. And a little move here to the inside. The 15 of Trevor Keith going to take it 3 wide into 1 and 2. Oh, there it is. Sideways for Keith. He's into the grass. Back up the racetrack. He'll save it. And a heavy contact to the outside wall for Daniel Holloway. But how about that save by the 15? Just wasn't quite clear of the 77 there. Back up here to the front, though. Car into the wall. That's Matt Robinson. He'll have the 19 of Alex Berube get around him. Alex able to pass pretty cleanly in the 1. Starting to struggle with handling. Now Tyler Harrison is going to get by. Move him up back to the top 5. So 3 separate leaders here today, all kind of on an equal pace for at least 10 laps led. But here comes the 40 of Lincoln's to pit road. Harrison follows him in. Green flag pit stops just past the halfway point. Two other drivers down pit road as well. It's like the 19 machine. I believe that's who that is coming down. Yes. 29. McDonald locks it up. Maybe a speeding penalty there. We'll have to wait and see what happens to Tay McDonald. The 19 is kind of pinched in here, so hopefully his stall isn't before the 29s. He had to heavily brake here. But nicely navigated. Rob Rader takes over point. He'll get a lap led, and maybe two of them now as he comes across. A few other cars electing to come down pit road now. McDonald down and away. Jeremy Burns had come in as well, the one of Matt Robinson who was starting to struggle in handling. Chris Nail, Jeffrey Israel Jr. Lincoln's back out there on the racetrack. He is being scored a lap down. Everyone that's hit pit road is scored a lap down. But Lincoln's, who had the lead, is not going to cycle out in front of these cars. And Burns way up the racetrack here to break up that run. Rader staying out. Gonna try to stretch this run as far as he can. 24 laps on the stint now for the 53. Picklesheimer just behind him in the 43 machine. Brandon Richardson on board with him. Guys wall riding very close to the wall. Little tag there for the number 8 as Grant Thorpe goes to the bottom to get around him for third. Not enough momentum there for the 77 Monster Energy machine. Caleb Gilbert going to go by the 8 as well. So a few of these cars, 25 to 30 laps out here on the racetrack. These guys yet to pit. They'll have to cycle in here soon. For every lap that goes by, this rest of this field is working ever so closer. I think a few of these drivers are on the strategy praying for a caution. Here comes the 41 of Trevor Erhardt down pit road. 17 of, I believe that's Joe Gioia. He will come down. Carter Lynn's just behind. Starting with the cars that have hit pit road. Alex Forget Berube could cycle out to be your leader. He has about 7/10 over Tay McDonald. Pretty sizable gap from 16th back to 18th position. Well over 2 seconds back here to Matt Robinson, Jeremy Burns, Lincoln's, who was leading when these pit stops kind of started to cycle out. Still a lot of work left to be done, but they have to catch these guys in front of them. Michael Call back out on the racetrack in the 89 machine, just trying to put down some laps. He is a lap down right now, but heavy front end damage, and this car struggling on handling. Just trying to gain some positions on anybody else that might get knocked out of this race. Rader continues to stay out. He has a 1.6 second lead over the 54. of Caleb Gilbert. Mickelsheimer is going to come down pit road and get the 43 machine serviced. So it's sort of turning into a fuel mileage race. I know what we talked about. It was caution plague, cautions breeding cautions. Now we're getting the other side of what Kansas has to offer. And the 53 of Rob Rader is going to bring it down. Gilbert also following suit, the 8. Richardson coming in as well. McGeorge is going to stay out. He'll lead one lap here today. 25th starting spot. Where does he cycle through? He was in the top 10 before these pit cycles started, but he's one of those cars that stayed out a lot longer than the rest of this field. And Berube going to get back onto the lead lap here very soon. As they come down pit road from the top 3. Holloway, Presley also down. 19 car with a sizable lead. He'll take it over on the point for lap 89. So McDonald 1 second back. That lead continues to grow here for the number 19. Lap 90. Starting, we'll have about 44 laps to go here from Kansas. Passing the number 10 machine. John Fike gonna go 2 laps down now. As Berube tries to clear him into 3. He will do so. Back here with Say McDonald, just now getting to the exit of 4. Trying to shave that lead down a little bit here. Matt Robinson, Jeremy Burns, 3rd and 4th spot. Chris Nail up into the top 5. He is fighting with Al Lincoln's Tyler Harrison. All on top of each other here coming out of 2. So these drivers, some of these guys that pitted earlier, might not be able to make it to the end of this race. But it's going to be close here. I'm sure they've done the math. They already have 15, 16 laps out here. Parker Johnston, rather, has 19 laps out on the racetrack back in 9th. So by the end of this race, he's going to be sitting somewhere around 60 laps on these tires, and I don't know if that fuel tank can go that far. As you see Rob Rader go by on the inside for 10. He's on much fresher tires than the rest of this field, chalk it up to about 10 laps. Tay McDonald has caught up to your leader, 0.2 of a second away here. The 10 starting to interfere a little bit here. I'm curious as to why the 10 has been racing so hard with the 19. 19 into the wall, and that doesn't help the case at all. That might be why the 10 keeps getting back to the inside of Berube, because of mistakes being made. Berube really needs to discipline and stay off that wall if he wants to keep this lead. He can easily manipulate the line of the 29 car. But I'm really surprised that that 10, even with that damage, has been able to keep hanging with him. Kind of cautiously watching to see what the 10 car is going to do. He stays in between here in the battle for the lead. 29 and McDonald not very happy there with the entry of 1. He might let the 10 know about it here soon, because this is holding him up. Matt Robinson is reeling these two in. Roubaix into the wall again. That's going to open up the door for McDonald, and the 10 goes by. He's slower down the straightaways. McDonald going to make a pass for the lead here in 3. Down to the bottom of the racetrack. Going to be door to door at the line. 0.02 of a second. Now, McDonald does clear, not in time to get that lap led. Dives it into 1. He's going to try to get both these cars clear. 19 tags the wall again, and that will do it for Berube. Tay McDonald back to the point. Now has to navigate this lap traffic. Car really putting up a fight here to stay 1 lap down. Like trying to fight for maybe a wave around position. I can kind of understand it, but also the battle here for the lead so close to where he is, and he continues to interfere with the exit line of the leader. I think patience might be wearing thin here on lap 99. If he causes any problems for the 29, as you see, he can't hit the exit, and he gets into the door of the 10. This opens it back up for the 19. So the manipulation of this battle from the 10 car not quite sure what to say about it. Maybe some opinions in chat that I can read silently, but I don't know about it. Rob Rader on the move to the inside. He's worked his way all the way back up from outside the top 10 after pitting. He's in 4th here with about 33 laps left. Will clear for 3rd off of the turn 2. Not quite, but we'll have the momentum going into 3 and 4. Last time by, he was 0.6 of a second faster than Tay McDonald. On the move here for the 53 machine. .9 seconds separate him and Alex Berube. Tay McDonald about 2 seconds ahead. So a lot of time left for Rob Rader to catch up to these 2 cars. Berube, he keeps tagging that entry wall, and that's not helping him keep pace with the number 29. He's going to lose another 10th here as they come off of turn 2 down this backstretch. These cars pretty resilient, but you go hitting that wall too many times, there's a risk of breaking that toe link on the right rear or knocking the front suspension out of alignment. He's going to have to dial it back a little bit here, not risk it. Raider on the move. Looking back here to fourth position, Matt Robinson has held on to a top 5 after those pit stops. Caleb Gilbert in 5th. He got around Jeremy Burns. This is another one of those cars that came out much later into the pits. So a good 10-lap advantage here for Gilbert. He's on the same pace as Raider rather. Much faster car here as he catches up to the 4th spot. .6 seconds now. 1 second total for Berube. Trying to hold on. 30 laps to go. 29 now as they cross the line. And McDonald going to try to seal the deal with heavy lap traffic in front of him. Can he hold on to it? Let's find out just momentarily. We're going to take a quick commercial break. The Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series back live in Kansas, uninterrupted, right after this.
Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
All About Bugs Tennessee Pest and Termite Control is all about family too. Our family-owned business has successfully been in operation in Sevierville and surrounding areas for almost a decade. Especially during these times, a pest-free home is necessary for a sustainable, disease-free home or business. Our services include residential, rental, commercial, hotel, motel, cabins, you name it. Free quotes and inspections for new customers, and most of our services are contract-free. Our All About Bugs Tennessee family is devoted to delivering the best possible pest control service with a friendly smile. Contact us at 865-453-5574 today.
If it's bugging you, you should be bugging us.
So Chapman's been around for 32.
Back here live, the battle for position has heated up. Rob Raider takes over the lead, and now I'm interested to see who's going to make it to the end of this race. The top 6 still out there on the racetrack, as you can see. 1.2 seconds, and these guys might be committing to pit stops. They're not going to make it to the end. Gilbert, of course, on the same strategy as Raider was. So that's going to put them both kind of on the bad side of this. Can the 53 stretch it out this far? Berube gets back to the point, but not by much. McDonald 1.9 seconds back here, trying to chase him down. The 19 just a little bit quicker in and out of the box there. Maybe a short pit by about a lap. And that was enough for him to catch up and get back around the 29. Based off of this time, it looks like as Rader comes down pit road, Dale Robinson, Mickelsheimer in the 43. Gonna stay out here on the racetrack a little bit longer, but we're looking at lap 29 on this stint. Doesn't look mathematically possible for him to go all the way to the end of this race. And there's Tay McDonald trying to get his lap back to the outside of your race leader. We come down to this. 20 laps to go. 43 car looking like he's probably gonna bring it down pit road this time by. Yes, he does. Grant Turner's gonna take over the lead. And that heavily damaged 39 machine gonna try to get a lap led. He's pretty far back here. Rube just behind him. And the 39, hold on, he cannot, just the downforce is gone on that machine. Gonna split 3 wide, get around the 10 car. Remember, that was the car that interfered with the battle for the win quite a bit there. Looks like he's still in that situation as Tay McDonald dives it to the inside to get by him. Trying to hunt down Berube. Laps to go. Landon C. NSB 200 at Kansas has been a good one. Started out a little caution heavy, but since lap 54, we have went green. These guys have dialed up a great race. Field strategy, pit calls, lead changes. And for the 19, this could be the race to win. Number 11 of the season. Will it be the one? Tay McDonald fighting back. 0.7 of a second behind your leader. Caleb Gilbert came into the box and just topped off with fuel, it looks like. Maybe a 2-tire stop. Not entirely sure. 9.5 in the box. Matt Robinson trying to catch up. Chris Nail, the top 5. Rob Rader. 4-tire stop for him. He is much, much faster than these leaders. But he is 7.5 seconds back, and that is a tall order. With less than 15 to go across the stripe. And McDonald now down to 4/10 of a second. Looks like he has a lot more speed than Berube does. Last time by a 31 flat for the 29. Berube could be dialing this car back a little bit to fight on the outside. Remember Berube, runner-up last week at Dover. Can he win this week, or will he come in second again? Passing going on for position deeper in this field. Christian Brinsnock trying to get around the 77 of Grant Thorpe for the top 10. These guys have been going at it, but here we go. Dance for the lead now. To the inside, McDonald, the 19, touches the wall, coming out of 4. That might seal the deal. McDonald gonna take over briefly here into 1, dives it to the inside, and there he is, race leader with just under 15 to go. Almost 10 to go here. The 15 car that we talked a little bit about in the top 10 a while ago. Trevor Keith got thrown down to the apron of the racetrack. He somehow saved it, but he is 3 laps down if the 29 can get back around him. Here's a surge back on the outside for Berube. He'll get the nose back ahead of the 29 car. He's going to back these corners up a little bit more, try to run the middle. Side drafting, not going to be enough. 29 holds on to it across the tri-oval. Officially 10 to go now as they cross the line. Matt Robinson gets passed by Rob Rader in the inside of turns 1 and 2. 53 up to 4th. He has 5 seconds separating him. He needs more time, though. Looks like he's not going to be able to catch up to these guys. He's only a couple tenths faster. Not going to cut it here for the 53. Still a good day, though, for Rader. Started back in 27th, so a top 5. That's a win in my book, especially starting that deep into this field. Matt Robinson going to get a top 5. Good possibility here. Chris Nell, Jackson McGeorge, side by side for 6th spot. There's Christian Brinsnock trying to get into the top 10. We were just talking about that a moment ago. Running the bottom of the racetrack. Not going to be enough here. Going to fall back in line. Trying to find something else here on this racetrack that's worth noting. The 45 of Tyler Harrison, who was up in the top 5 for a lot of this race, had some laps led, 25 of them to be exact. He is down 10 spots, and he is hitting the wall here in 1 and 2. A little bit off the pace here late in the race for the 45 team. In trouble back here, the 49's around. That's going to bring out a caution. Hold everything. It's not over yet. Daryl Johnson. Heavy contact 3 wide out of turn 2. And that's going to bring out a yellow with just about 7 laps to go. The 66 of Carter Lenz, I believe, there in the middle. Car on the outside, not quite sure who that was. I think that was the 39 machine of Grant Turner involved in that. Go on board with him. So the 49, I mean, Johnson looks like he just slides up the racetrack. One more time from the blimp camera. This looks like he runs up into the side of Lenz here. Hard angle to tell. Nonetheless, it does shake everything up here. It looked like Tay McDonald was going to run away with this race. Now he has the entire top 10 that's been fighting with him all race long back up to his bumper. Caleb Gilbert, Rob Rader, the guys with much fresher tires. They brought it back down pit road, it looks like, as well. Tay McDonald is about to have a really tough race on his hands. Kyle Diaz in the chat. Sorry for the bad luck here today. It's been a tough break for quite a few guys here tonight. Cameron King, Justice Murphy, Christopher Schaefer, Travis Gilbert, James Loveland, Devin Hudgens, Frank Hughes Jr. all out of this race. A few cars that are a few laps down. You've got Jacob Sirkovich, Jeffrey Israel Jr., Wayne Lowe has struggled all day today. Trevor Keith, who got spun there through the tri-oval grass and was able to save it. Michael Call, early problems. Grant Turner, problems right here on this this last replay. So some of it's continued repeatedly for some of these guys. Carter Lynn's, of course, a lap down also involved. Jeremy Burns is scored as a lap down. He has some damage that he's getting repaired. So the 9 car in 23rd position. Tyler Harrison fell out of the top 5. He's back to 21st. So there's a look at Harrison, a guy that led a lot of laps here today. The 9 of Burns, who wasn't able to lead a single one after starting in 2nd spot, having a tough day here at Kansas. And then let's talk about Tay McDonald, because I think he's about to have a tough day after dominating the later half of this race, battling with the 19 of Berube. Now Caleb Gilbert, Rob Rader, Jackson McGeorge, all going to join this battle. I wouldn't count out Matt Robinson, Chris Nao, and Trevor Erhardt as well. It's about to get really interesting as we go into overtime. It's going to be a 1-to-go signal this time around. Don't think they're going to extend the caution, so we're going to get a natural green-white checker. But remember, we do have more attempts at that as they hit the choose cone. So the natural green-white checker, I believe we have 3 more attempts after this to extend that race. It's about to get really interesting here on V-Speed and the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series presented by Racing Revolution. If you guys are enjoying tonight's action, again, if you are, like this broadcast, share it with your friends, family, even people you don't like, send it to them too. Helps us out tremendously when you do such things, and it goes unnoticed for a lot of creators and broadcasting companies. But trust me, I pay very close attention to who's in and who's out, and who's watching these things, and we appreciate all of you that come in and week out to watch Racing Revolution. 53 a Raider on the freshest tires there during that stint, but he was going to run out of time. Now this resets it for the 54 and the 53. Berube going to have fresher tires as well, but he's been a little bit crazy along that wall. Tay McDonald's going to have to play defense. Green flag is out. Let's see who can hold on the longest. Coming around to turn 1. Lots are hard racing side by side back here for 4th, 5th, 6th position. Raider on the outside. A block from the 1 of Robinson. Here they come off of turns 3 and 4. White flag about to be in the air. The 19 of Berube makes the pass in the clear for the lead. Fresher tires prevail. They're going to make it official. White flag is out. Presented by Erhardt Homes. McDonald's going to fight back on the bottom. Berube, though, with the fresher tires like a rocket strip. Right out of turn 2. Down the backstretch. Defense played again here for the 29. He's got to hold on to it. Raider, 4 wide back here. This isn't going to work. And it does. They make it through, but contact off of turn 4 for the final time today. Alex Forget Berube is going to get the win at Kansas. After all the wall hits, the older tires, the strategy, short pitting, and let's not forget, starting in 8th, the 19 car finds a way. Second place goes to Jackson McGeorge, Tay McDonald. So Raider actually falls back to 5th. Caleb Gilbert's going to get 4th. But let's burn it down on the front stretch. Berube victorious here at Kansas. Post-race interviews with your top 3. You're watching the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series, Racing Revolution. Quick commercial break while we round up those drivers. We'll have your final results and post-race interviews coming up right after this.
We've been around for 32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
All About Bugs Tennessee Pest and Termite Control is all about family too. Our family-owned business has successfully been in operation in Sevierville and surrounding areas for almost a decade. Especially during these times, a pest-free home is necessary for a sustainable, disease-free home or business. Our services include residential, rental, commercial, hotel, motel, cabins, you name it. Free quotes and inspections for new customers, and most of our services are contract-free. Our All About Bugs Tennessee family is devoted to delivering the best possible pest control service with a friendly smile. Contact us at 865-453-5574 today.
If it's bugging you, you should be bugging us.
Back live from the Kansas Speedway, Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series has concluded their 134 laps here in the regular scheduling, almost into overtime, but we made it to that white flag. Victorious tonight, Alex Forget Berube is going to get the win. Stage winner, still debatable. I think it was Tyler Harrison, but I'm going to have to confirm that with everyone. The 45 falls back to 13th. Final results up on your screen. It's Jackson McGeorge going to get second position here today. Tay McDonald's going to get third. Caleb Gilbert in the fourth spot with Rob Rader in the top 5. Matt Robinson's going to bring it home in 6th with Dylan Pickelsinger in 7th. Chris Nail in 8th position. Grant Thorpe in 9th. Peyton Presley is going to round out your top 10. Michael Bennett is going to finish 11th. 12th spot goes to Daniel Holloway. Tyler Harrison, of course, 13th. We just mentioned. Al Lincoln's in 14th. Christian Brensnock is going to bring it home 15th position. Kevin Orlando Jr. 16th, and Nicholas Schell in 17th. Darrell Johnson in 18th spot. Brandon Richardson in 19th, and Chad Lancaster is going to round out that top 20. Tough break here for the 41. He was very fast today, up in the top 10 a couple times with the 41. Trevor Erhardt is going to finish 21st. Parker Johnston in 22nd. Jeremy Burns, tough day starting in 2nd. Outside the pole, he was fast. Finishes 23rd today. Not exactly sure what happened to the 9, but back out of the top 20. Joe Gioia in 24th. Carter Lynch, 25th. Grant Turner, 26th. Trevor Keith, 27th. John Fike in the 10, 28th. Wayne Lowe, 29th. And 30th goes to Jeffrey Israel Jr. A few more cars left here, and a lot of these cars were out of the race. You got Michael Call in 31st. Jacob Sokovich in 32nd. Cameron King, Justice Murphy, Christopher Schaefer, Travis Gilbert, James Loveland, Kyle Diaz out of the race, Devin Hudgens out of the race, Frank Hughes Jr. rounding out this 40-car field here today from Kansas Speedway. But that brings us to our top 3. Hey, McDonald, who was fighting a lot of the day up front here for the 29 machine, but man, I tell you, it just came down to pit or no pit, and unfortunately you're on the wrong side of the coin there at the end.
Yeah, that's just how my luck goes, I guess. I felt like if I would have pit, people would have stayed out. If I stay out, people would have pit. I was kind of in, and then just that bad spot. I'm glad to come home with 3rd, I guess, but yeah, I'm not happy with that one.
Well, in the situation here for you tonight, you led 52 laps. You battled with Porjet Berube. You battled with Tyler Harrison. Everybody that led some laps at some point into this race. Al Lincoln's also in that. At some point, somebody that led this race, you were right behind him. Yeah,
I mean, we got a lot of good drivers in here. Some think they're better than they actually are, but we do have a lot of good guys in here. Some, it's just we've had a really bad start to the season, I guess, is all I'm trying to say.
Well, Tay, I know that 3rd place is kind of a gut punch here after leading all those laps and from where you started on the pole, but still a great day. It's a good one for the points. Is there anybody that comes to mind that you'd like to thank for the performance here at Kansas?
Absolutely. My teammates at Racing for Freedom, especially Travis Gilbert. I'm not sure what the whole situation was tonight. I know that he's been having some PC issues, but I definitely want to thank Travis. I want to thank Kyle and Devin, teammates over at Racing for Freedom. I want to thank Chapman Environmental Services, the league sponsor, Coastal Financial. I want to thank Vetitrack, Echo Electric Supply. I want to thank my grandma Linda for watching every week, and I hope things clean up throughout the season.
As do I, man. I know it was a little bit of a rough start there, and unfortunately, I think you had this thing wrapped up had that caution with 7 to go not came out. But, still, you played good defense. Congrats on still salvaging a top 3 with all those fresh tires behind you, man.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
3rd place finisher here tonight at Kansas, Tay McDonald in the number 29. That moves us to the next driver. 2nd place finisher here today. It's going to be the number 98, and kind of a surprise here. No offense to Jackson McGeorge at all, but where did you come from, man? You were in and out of the top 10 most of the day, and then suddenly with this 3 to go on the restart, you just surged to the top 2.
Yeah, I guess so. We've been digging all day. I was kind of I knew I had enough speed. I had ran enough, practiced enough. I knew I had speed. Really just trying to, practice kind of tire management all week. I knew I'd have enough speed at the end to get in the mix, but it was just trying to find that balance between the caution and the green flag runs, when to pit, when to take tires, et cetera, et cetera. So really just kind of paced myself early in the race, and then as that long green flag run developed, if you go back and watch, I was just slowly picking off one after one after one after one, and just had an opportunity there, and just somehow squeezed into second.
Yeah, we saw you working your way up into the top 5. You were starting to flirt with maybe a podium finish, but looked like you were maybe going to run out of time there before that could happen. That caution with 7 to go. I mean, what was the strategy, the mindset? Like, if the caution comes out, we're pitting no matter what, or was it maybe stay out? What was just going through your head there?
I didn't know until I literally crossed the commit line whether I would be pitting there. I was kind of gonna do whatever everyone else in front of me did, because I think, as you see with Tay, I don't think you wanted to be trapped out there with no tires. If everybody else had tires, that you didn't want to be out there alone. I mean, Tay's one of the best drivers in the league, and you're just a sitting duck out there with no tires. So we were just gonna do whatever everybody else in front of us did. I didn't have any teammates in front of me, so I had no idea what the strategy was going to be. We ended up taking 2. Fortunately, everybody else took 2, or we would have got boat raced, by everybody that took 4 behind us. So just got fortunate, really, picked the right strategy. It was a guessing game, and it worked out.
Well, outside of that, I mean, you started back in 25th, so let's talk about 23 positions gained. And you weren't the biggest mover of the race. That actually goes to the 43 back in 7th spot, but you were the second highest mover of this race here tonight. What did it take discipline-wise? Because it looked crazy back there from 20th on back for a lot of this event.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was talking about, right? We're just staying out of trouble, managing the tires, managing the fuel windows, making sure that we were going to make it to the end. If it went green, it was just really just being patient. Also had just a little bit more confidence, because I slipped a little bit in qualifying. I knew I was better than 23rd. I knew I had the speed. Just had to make sure that you got to that last 50 lap or 60 laps with a clean car, because damage can make your tires wear differently and things like that. So just trying to make sure the car was as clean as possible into those last 60, and then get a set of tires on it and give it as much as we could.
Well, Jackson, congratulations on this second place finish. I know it's going to go a long way in trying to make this season turn around and keep things in that top 10 in points. But got anybody you'd like to shout out or thank for tonight's second place finish?
For sure, of course, all the sponsors that make the league possible. But I've said for a while, if I got a podium, I would thank the admin team. I think that they do a lot of thankless work to make this league run. It runs incredibly smoothly, and that's a lot of unpaid hours that they're putting in, as well as the broadcast team, that you guys do a fantastic job week in and week out. So that's who I would shout out. Also, all the people that I've got family members and friends that support me and watch. So they normally watch me run around in 20th. Tonight they got to watch me run around in second. So I'm sure that was more fun for them as well as it was for me.
Well, the high noon, the passion fruit, the grapefruit, whatever you like on the flavors. I think you need to try all 6 flavors available here tonight after second place. Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Jackson McGeorge, second place here at Kansas. Finally, that brings us to your race winner. It's going to go to Alex Forget Berube. Ah, man, I tell you what, the 19 car, it fought with the wall, it fought with the air, it fought with just staying on the lead lap at times in this race. How did you pull it off? I know last week you were runner-up. Here tonight you said, no, I'm going to get a victory, and here it is.
It was the caution at the end decided everything. It was do the opposite of the leader, and that's what made me win. That the 2 tires at the end were making me sideways, which is for once good in this car.
Yeah, it's kind of nice when it steps out and steers with the throttle. I mean, if you're a good driver, you can handle that kind of thing. Kind of takes you back to when the Cup Series had more than 700 horsepower, and these things were ferocious to drive.
Oh yeah, the good times.
The good times. Well, I mean, Alex, you came out here, you led 17 laps, but most importantly, you led the last one. And with that last stint of racing, you had got back ahead of the 29. You short pitted, but it looked like that car had just lost the handling on the outside line. What had changed there for those final 30 laps?
I really don't know. I pitted and I had a little bit of damage, so I think I can put the finger on that. But otherwise, I really tried to save the tires and the last stunt before the caution, and I guess it just didn't work. At some point, I'm looking in my on my relative taste, 2 seconds behind me, and then 5, 10 laps later, I look at it again, and he's 1 second behind me, and I'm there trying to save my stuff. So I was kind of confusing, and when he passed me, the air was just making it tighter, so it was even worse. I really needed the caution at the end, so it was fortunate for me.
I'm just going to briefly mention the lap car that was also part of that battle there several times, but we won't say any names. We'll just leave it at that. But it worked out for you, and Alex here tonight. You gotta be happy that you've had 2 back-to-back weeks up here on the podium. You're looking great in the points, and this right here just proves that you're one of the drivers to be reckoned with when we go into playoffs.
Yes, sir. I think we just entered a good stretch for me, and the results are showing it finally. It feels good. For the lap cars today, I had absolutely no problem with them.
Well, there you go. That pretty much clarifies what was going on that racetrack. Me personally, I might have made a comment or two, but I just, that's me outside looking in. And for as far as the action goes on this racetrack, really cleaned up there after lap 54. I'm glad you guys got some green flag pit stops. Alex, Forget, Berube, your winner here tonight. You got anybody you'd like to thank?
Yes, sir. Well, I have to thank everybody in this league. They really supported me for the win tonight. Everybody was trying to bump me at the end. That was kind of crazy. Um, Even my team Bennett, he wasn't able to bump me because there was too many people around me. But he was so hyped for me. Everybody in my team always supporting me every week. We gotta thank all the sponsors from this league. V-Speed, you guys, Buttkicker, Let and See today for sponsoring the race, all about bugs. Every sponsor that makes this league what it is and makes it really fun, and it's really enjoyable to have everything set in a place, and just every Wednesday knowing that I'm gonna race with these guys, and they're always for the most of the time they race with respect, and that tonight was really fun. So I gotta thanks everybody and all the sponsors that makes that possible.
Outside of that, man, congratulations on getting the victory and adding yourself into that final 16 when we go reset time. So appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Yes, sir. Merci beaucoup.
There he is. Speaking French now. I heard it last week, but there he is again, Alex Forget. We really thank you for your time, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And that concludes it here from Kansas. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight's broadcast from the Kansas Speedway and the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series, the Land and Sea NSB 200. If you did enjoy tonight's action, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I would like to thank Adam Baker in the background for all he does for V-Speed, making the graphics, doing some production work, and teaching me a lot of things about how it works. I'd also like to thank Eddie Smith, Morgan Cook, the other producer for this league, Christian Hill. This is Bradley Cooper telling you to have a great rest of your week. We'll see you next time. QSR in their Cup Series, Thursday night at 9 p.m. Till then, take care, everybody.